The movie opens with Richard Croft narrating the legend of Queen Himiko, an ancient Japanese ruler known as a dark sorceress. With her mystical powers, Himiko brought disaster and death, leading to her being sealed away, buried alive on a remote island in the Devil's Sea. Richard has uncovered clues about Himiko's tomb and is determined to find it before it falls into the wrong hands. Next, we meet Lara Croft, a young woman training in boxing. She struggles during practice and is also facing financial problems. She's behind on her gym fees and is at risk of being kicked out. To make ends meet, Lara works as a bike courier. She runs into her friends, Alex and Rafa, who are talking about an upcoming race called Fox Hunt. In this competition, bike couriers chase a single rider acting as the fox. If the fox manages to escape, they win a cash prize. Desperate for money, Lara decides to enter the race, hoping to win the prize and pay off her debts. The Fox Hunt bike race begins, with Lara playing the role of the fox while the other couriers chase after her. She skillfully dodges them, occasionally glancing back to make sure they're falling behind. But in the middle of the race, she spots a man who looks just like her father, Richard Croft. The sudden flood of memories distracts her, and she accidentally crashes into a passing police car. As a result, she gets arrested and taken to the police station. At the station, Lara is met by Anna, her guardian and her father's close associate. Anna bails her out and tries to convince her to sign her father's death certificate. By doing so, Lara would officially inherit his entire fortune and estate. However, despite coming from a wealthy and noble family, Lara refuses to accept the inheritance if it means declaring her father dead. She'd rather live a simple life than give up hope that he might still be alive. That night, in her small apartment, Lara finds herself thinking about her father. Ever since she was a child, he was always away on mysterious trips, never telling her where he was going or what he was doing. The only thing she has left of him is a necklace that once belonged to her mother, a gift from her father who told her it would protect her while he was gone. Now, that necklace is the only reminder of the father she lost so long ago. The next day, Lara visits her father's company and officially claims her inheritance, which includes an ancient Japanese puzzle. As she solves it, she uncovers a hidden message from her father, an old childhood photo, the words, "The first letter from my final destination," and a golden key. Realizing that his final destination must be the Croft family tomb, she heads there immediately. At the family tomb, Lara discovers a hidden door behind her father's memorial stone. Inside, she finds a secret room filled with antique artifacts and stacks of fake passports from different countries. Among the items, she comes across a handycam containing her father's final message. In the recording, he states that he's dead and begs her to destroy all his research on Queen Himiko. But instead of following his instructions, Lara decides to read through the research. That's when she uncovers the location of Himiko's tomb on Yamatai Island and learns about the Endurance, the ship her father took to get there. Determined to find the truth, Lara sells her mother's pendant to get some money and travels to Hong Kong in search of the Endurance. At the harbor, she gets mugged, but she manages to fight back and retrieve her bag. While looking around, she spots the Endurance and asks for help, only to find its owner drunk and caught up in trouble with the local thieves. Luren, the ship's owner, agrees to take Lara to Yamatai after she convinces him with money. Like her, he also lost his father on an expedition with Richard Croft, making him hesitant but ultimately willing to help. While on the ship, Lara studies her father's research and discovers that an ancient organization called Trinity is also searching for Himiko's tomb. Trinity is a secretive group that seeks to control supernatural powers to dominate the world, and Richard feared that Himiko might be the ultimate weapon they were looking for. As they get closer to Yamatai, a massive storm strikes their ship. Luren loses control, and the Endurance crashes into the rocks, breaking apart. Lara barely escapes with her life, managing to grab her father's research before washing up on shore. Exhausted and disoriented, Lara stumbles onto the beach, only to be ambushed and captured by a group of armed men led by Matthias Vogel. Vogel, a ruthless mercenary working for Trinity, has been searching for Himiko's tomb for the past 7 years. He coldly tells Lara that he was the one who killed Richard Croft. Outside, Lara witnesses Vogel's cruelty towards the prisoners and slaves, including Luren. Using Richard Croft's notes, Vogel finds the location of Himiko's tomb and orders his workers to shift the excavation. Luren helps Lara escape, but as they're running, Lara gets caught and falls into the river. She's swept away by the strong current, heading straight towards a waterfall. Luckily, she manages to grab onto a plane wreckage that's caught in the river. Inside the tilted plane, Lara frees her hands from the ropes. The plane slides down, but Lara manages to grab a parachute before it crashes. Unfortunately, the parachute is damaged, and Lara ends up landing in the forest, getting impaled by a tree branch in her stomach. Despite the intense pain, Lara pulls the branch out and pushes forward. After making it out of the forest, Lara stumbles upon a beach with strong ocean currents. That night, she's attacked by Vogel's men, but she fights back and takes them down. Then she spots someone running into a cave. When she follows, she's shocked to find that it's her father, Richard Croft. Richard is surprised to see Lara, but he eventually believes it when she shows him a familiar gesture. He then tends to her wounds, sewing her up after she passes out from the pain. The next morning, Richard is angry because Lara still hasn't burned the Himiko files. He explains that he faked his own death to throw Vogel off track. He's terrified that if Himiko's tomb is opened, the curse will be unleashed. And now, thanks to Lara, Vogel must have found the tomb's location. Sure enough, Vogel and his crew have discovered the tomb's entrance. Vogel contacts his superiors, requesting a pickup. Meanwhile, Lara plans to make things right by freeing the slaves and getting her father off the island. She wants to take Vogel's satellite phone, but her father stops her, knowing it's a hopeless plan. Vogel has too many armed men. But Lara, being stubborn, insists on going to Vogel's camp to steal the phone. She grabs a bow and arrow and heads into the forest. Lara sneaks into Vogel's barracks and discovers the plan for the transport arrival. She finds Lurin, and together, they fight off the guards and free the slaves. But Vogel and his men show up, forcing Lara and Lurin to retreat. Lurin manages to escape, while Lara grabs Vogel's satellite phone. Outside, Lara sees her father captured by Vogel, who's forcing him to open the tomb of Himiko. Not willing to take any chances, Lara approaches and decides to help Vogel for her father's safety. She solves the puzzle on the tomb's door. Once it opens, they enter the tomb, which is full of deadly traps. Richard discovers an ancient inscription about Himiko. The Queen of Death turns day into night. She must die to bring life back. The floor beneath them collapses and Lara finds a keyhole. Richard throws a red jade stone, but the door doesn't react. Lara solves the final puzzle by combining the yellow and blue jade, opening a path to the temple inside the cave. There, they find thousands of bodies of Himiko's servants. Vogel finally locates Himiko's coffin and ignores Richard's warnings. When he opens it, Himiko's body is fragile and decayed. Lara realizes that Himiko wasn't a monster, but someone who sacrificed herself to protect the world. As Vogel's men try to move Himiko's body, they get infected by a deadly virus. Lara figures out that the curse of Himiko is actually a contagious disease. Vogel quickly kills his infected men and takes one of Himiko's fingers, which holds the virus. Lara attacks Vogel's men to stop them. Meanwhile, Richard is attacked by zombies and Vogel runs away. Richard ends up getting infected by Himiko's virus while taking down a zombie. Meanwhile, Lara keeps chasing Vogel, and she finally corners him at the edge of a cliff. As Lara and Vogel fight, Richard sets off a bomb to make sure no one can use Himiko's power. After an intense fight, Lara manages to knock Vogel off the cliff after forcing Himiko's finger into his mouth. The explosion causes Himiko's tomb to collapse. Lara barely escapes the crumbling cave with Lurin's help. They hijack a helicopter and head back to London. In London, Lara signs her father's inheritance papers and appoints Anna as the head of the company. But when Lara looks through her father's company records, she spots the Patna logo and realizes it's linked to Trinity. Suspicious of Anna, the movie ends on a cliffhanger, leaving us wondering about her connection to the Trinity organization.